So a lot of speculation has came out this morning about if Daniel Jones is a top 10 quarterback or not. And a lot of that stems from the Greg Jennings video that came out from First Things First, where he said definitively right now that Daniel Jones is a top 10 quarterback. He also said that it's going to pan out this year and he will prove it this year, which I think is kind of a bit of a double standard. I think Greg Jennings is more talking about a projection rather than the actual facts of where Daniel Jones lies on the quarterback list right this minute. Now, the one problem that I have with Greg Jennings' take here is that the first thing that he goes to when he talks about why Daniel Jones is a top 10 quarterback, he speaks on the deficiencies around him. I think for most top 10 quarterbacks around the league, and if you talk about a top 10 quarterback list of all time, most people are not going to mention what was wrong around the quarterback as a primary reason to put that person in the top 10. I do think Daniel Jones looked really good in the system last year with Brian Daboll, and we saw a great year out of him. And I think the trajectory is going up from here. But to put Daniel Jones in the top 10, I think we have to eliminate some other quarterbacks, which would be very difficult. So today, I wanted to go over my top 10 list, which I think 9 of these quarterbacks in this top 10 are pretty undebatable here. For me, I got Mahomes, Allen, and Burrow as the top 3 quarterbacks in the league. Now, my 4 and 5 might differ for some people, but I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson at number 4, Jalen Hurts at number 5, and I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers at number 6. A lot of people forget that Aaron Rodgers just a season ago is coming off of back-to-back MVP seasons. You have a down year, I guess people want to call it. I even saw somebody call Aaron Rodgers' 2022 season trash. And then I listed his statistics and said, this is what I expect to see as far as passing numbers go for Daniel Jones this year. And they actually agreed with me. So I don't understand how it's trash for one guy, but for another guy, it's going to be a season that you will be totally comfortable with. Aaron Rodgers lost his number 1 weapon, arguably the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL last year. And yeah, the numbers did take a hit. For me at number 7, I'm going to go Justin Herbert, who through 3 years in this league has some of the best numbers you've seen from any quarterback in NFL history. Yeah, the playoff wins aren't there. The big game wins are not there yet. At number 8, I got to go with Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford, last year, we know he was banged up. And for me, I don't just look at the previous year and have recency bias when it comes to determining how I'm going to do this top 10. Matthew Stafford coming off of a 41 touchdown season and a Super Bowl victory just a year ago. So for me, he's got to stay in that top 10 until he proves otherwise. If we get back-to-back seasons for Matthew Stafford where he's struggling, dealing with injuries, and not playing at the high level we know he can play, then possibly I would take him out of this top 10. Number 9 for me is going to be Trevor Lawrence, who looked fantastic last year. But the thing with Trevor Lawrence is the sample size is really small. And I think that argument can be made for Daniel Jones as well. He had 2 terrible seasons under terrible coaching with Joe Judge and Jason Garrett. But then he came back here last year with Brian Daboll. He had a really good season. But for me, when I take into account how statistics are going to determine where a quarterback lies, I like to remove their best season, actually, and then look at them as a player without their best season there and see where the consistency lies. So for me, Trevor Lawrence and Daniel Jones both have a lot more to prove. Now, this number 10 spot gets a little dicey. I will keep it funky here. There are a lot of quarterbacks here that are in that B to C tier, maybe tier 3, tier 2 type of quarterbacks, that a lot of them are all lumped in the same category. And I think if we're going to put Daniel Jones in the top 10, you got to put him above every one of these quarterbacks I'm about to list. Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Geno Smith, who also has the small sample size, just 1 year of great football, Tua, Kyler Murray. Russell Wilson is still in that batch coming off of his worst year as a starter in the NFL. I think Derek Carr could be mentioned in that. And if we want to reach a little bit, you could put Ryan Tannehill, Deshaun Watson, and possibly Justin Fields if you're thinking about upside. But I don't think Justin Fields should be mentioned in any top 10s. So you tell me, is it really, really logical to put Daniel Jones in the top 10 in the NFL right now? You got Mahomes at number 1, Josh Allen at number 2, Joe Burrow at number 3, Lamar Jackson at number 4, Jalen Hurts at number 5, Aaron Rodgers at number 6, Justin Herbert at number 7, Matthew Stafford coming in at number 8, Trevor Lawrence coming in at number 9, and for me, right now, at this particular time, I gotta put Dak Prescott at the number 10 spot, who, although he had a down season last year, has proven that he belongs above the other quarterbacks outside the top 10. But I've given you my top 10. Let me know where you think your top 10 might differ, and please come with some rationale and some reasoning on this one, y'all. Peace.